Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here. Today we're looking at the new Teen Titans number 5 and 6, 1985 Baxter edition by Marv Wolfman, George Pérez, and Dan Jurgens. Alright, so hit subscribe, hit like. I'm going to cue the intro and I'll be right back.
MichaelFitzTroytv Comic book art critiques. Snark, and sarcastic ways. Levels and geeky gaze. Sadie's comics rule the day. Hurry up and turn that page. MichaelFitzTroy.
Alright, so here we go. We've been looking at the new Teen Titans Baxter series from DC, and when I say Baxter, it means that they had a successful monthly title for like 40 something issues, and then they launched this direct market only, like better paper, better printing, more expensive Baxter edition. And George Pérez drew the first 5 issues, and it was like finally like doing the Raven story with her father Trigon, and this is the conclusion to that right here. This is such a great cover. I love it. It's very moody for like Pérez, like very cool and artistic. Totally digging that. Great splash page, group shot of the Titans. Totally love it. Beautiful George Pérez art. Marv Wolfman and George Pérez, co-creators and co-editors. Like I said, this is Pérez's last issue before going off to do Crisis on Infinite Earths, and I was really devastated to see him leave the Titans, but I hesitate to say, but then we wouldn't have Crisis, and I guess if we had to have Crisis, I'm glad that Pérez drew it. I'm kind of have mixed emotions years later about how the whole Crisis thing unfolded, and maybe they should have never done it. I don't know. Anyway, but hey, it gave us John Byrne and Superman, so what do you want? Marv Wolfman, George Pérez, Romeo Tanghal, inker, John Costanza, letterer, Adrian Roy, colorist. You know, I said last episode that Todd Klein was usually the Titans letterer, but I feel like John Costanza lettered a lot of it as well. So Adrian Roy definitely seemed like the main colorist. Here's Raven, seemingly dead. The evil Titans destroyed her. It broke my heart that she was quote-unquote dead. Trigon is like, I don't know, a crazy, crazy villain with a very revealing costume. Titans Tower in Manhattan is totally demonized and just like Inferno and the X-Men. I wonder which came first, this or that. Interesting. I think it was this before Inferno, to be honest with you. Titans together, their famous battle cry. They're going to attack Trigon and give him what for killing Raven, or at least leading to that. Such a great shot there. So cool. Classic Starfire right there. That's kind of cool. I'm standing on the demonized versions of the World Trade Center. Very classic Starfire page. Thanks. The art in general looks slightly rushed on this. It is Pérez's last issue before the Crisis. Like, I feel like we'd be getting more details than that. He's probably doing slightly looser pencils. I don't know for sure. But even Pérez's, like, loose pencils are still pretty tight, if you've ever seen his layouts. I love it. Gar turning into an alligator and biting his eyelid. The Titans always work so well together. Here's Arella, Raven's mother, and Lilith doing something with Raven's soul, I guess. She's ascending. Her soul is now pure and white. It started black, and then it was like bright red when she was possessed by the demon. Very cool Brainiac there. Very cool Raven, like such great Pérez imagery here. I love it. And wham bam, thank you ma'am, there it is. And Raven disappears and we just don't know. And I was like, WTF, oh my gosh, what happened to my beloved Raven? And sadly, I just seem so anticlimactic that this is the last issue of George Perez for 4 years, and like his last panel is like a blown up Titans tower. Oh my gosh, horrifying, horrifying. Interesting to see a letter from T.M. Maple in there. He was like a famous letter writer. As famous as you can be for writing fan mail to comic books, I guess. I always remember seeing his name. Anyway, so this is the first issue without Perez. He's still doing the cover, like these weird paintings that he did for a while. Like, some of them are really good. Some of them are okay. I'd rather see his pen and inked work, to be honest with you. He's just such a great classic comic book storyteller. So we have Marv Wolfman, writer, editor, co-plot, Dan Jurgens, layouts, Romeo Tanghal, embellisher, John Costanzo, letterer, Adrian Roy, colorist, and George Perez, co-plot. Perez falls off so hard and fast after this, though. Like, I think it was time-consuming to draw Crisis on Infinite Earths, and then immediately doing History of the DC Universe, and then doing Wonder Woman, and then he would eventually come back to the Titans. And I have to say, like, I was so heartbroken and devastated. Like, Perez was the Titans for me. Even given this, like, gorgeous 2-page spread, I just missed Perez the whole time. So the city's just celebrating them after their victory over defeating Trigon, which is kind of funny because it's like, well, why didn't you do something about it or be a little more proactive? Like, Raven was living amongst their ranks for years and whatever. I don't know. Hindsight's 2020, I guess. Here's an ad for Crisis on Infinite Earths. Universe, Crisis on Infinite Earths. Now that's interesting to see that because this is a house ad. And it makes you kind of wonder, like, was it originally called Universe, Crisis on Infinite Earths? It must have been. But, you know, DC has that whole crisis theme that's been going on for years. And, I mean, that's a loaded statement in itself. Very jarring to go from, like, Perez art to this. But, I mean, it's still good art. But I feel like Dan Jurgens is only as good as this inker a lot of times. I always thought this was kind of funny. You know, because the Titans are so popular. Because they saved the city from themselves, from one of their own members. And so now Titans fever is going on, and they're selling these, like, fuchsia Starfire wigs. Hilarious. Who wouldn't want that? That's so funny. I was just talking to somebody about, like, chest hair in comics or body hair, and I knew that Perez was one of the ones who always drew body hair. And I remember Gar Logan at least having hairy legs, and a hairy chest, I think. Which was always kind of funny, because he seemed like, you know, the youngest one, so. But hey, I guess it makes sense being Beast Boy and all, right? Arella's like, gosh, what do I do now? I'm just gonna go out and I don't know what. And they go camping again. Whoa, that's a yellow kitchen. We love Gar. And then there's an arrow pointing to her vagina. That's interesting. What an interesting choice, Dan Jurgens. And it's like True Confessions at the campsite. Great ad for Amethyst, Princess of Gemworld, in her original glory. You know, this sort of is echoing a little bit of Perez action there, so I wonder if that was intentional. Could it be a coincidence? I don't know. I just thought this was funny because this seemed awfully dramatic compared to, like, how natural Perez always had the characters. You know, there was such a dynamic force to Perez's art, but this just seems a little, like, over the top for me at the time. Like, with the Olin Mills, like, double exposure action going on and everything. But hey, you know, it's still good. I mean, I did like it, but it just wasn't Perez. And you're always going to have that problem in life when it comes to the Teen Titans and probably Wonder Woman. But that's a fun Nightwing there, and I kind of like how he has the T on his t-shirt. What's the T, Nightwing? Oh, it's on my shirt. Anyway, so that was after Pérez left, and like it just really goes off the rails, but we'll see what happens. We're gonna stick with it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, share my content, and I'll bring you some more later. Thanks, guys.